Now, there are so many questions about Disney World right now. Like, when are they going to reopen? Are there going to be huge discounts to get people to come back in? What are crowds going to be like? How are they going to do social distancing? Well, a lot of those questions no one can answer but Disney themselves. However, what we can do in the meantime is still plan our trips, and I'm going to show you how. Stick around to find out. What's up, everybody? It's Nick from Who Dat Travel. Today we've got another Disney edition. If you like these kind of videos, please hit the thumbs up for the YouTube logarithm. And what really helps the channel is if you subscribe. Hit that bell notification to be notified when I release new content. Without further ado, here we go. Now, there are tons to think about when you are planning a Walt Disney World vacation. Things like, where am I going to stay? When am I going to go? What should I wear? Where am I going to eat? What fast passes do I need? What rides do I even want to go on? How long is my trip? Okay, you get the idea. There's a ton to think about. Now, we can't figure out when we're going to go with the parks being closed indefinitely. However, we know at some point the parks will open back up. So here's what you can do. There are tons of things to think about and talk about with your family. Heck, most of us are under quarantine. It's a perfect time to talk about these things. So the first thing to think about for me is how long are you going to go? Now, you have to remember, Disney World is roughly the size of 2 Manhattan islands or the size of San Francisco. There are 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, 26, I think it is right now, different resorts. There is a lot to see and a lot to do in Disney and also the Orlando area. So the first thing to think about is how long are you going to stay for? Is it going to be just a couple days? Is it going to be 1 day? Is it going to be 2 weeks? But that is one of the first things to knock out when you're planning for a Disney World vacation. After you know how long you're going to go, well, the next thing to do is think about park tickets. Now, the longer that you go to Disney, the cheaper the prices are. Now, yes, they did enact the date pricing, so you can't get an absolute firm number, but you can get at least an idea to know how much you've got to save. And if you need ideas for saving, I'll link a video above to give you some ideas how to save for your next Disney World vacation. But with the park tickets, you can think about things like, do I really need the park hopper? Do I need the water parks? Those types of things you can look at and figure out a rough estimate of how much it's going to be and what the best idea for your park tickets are. Now, if you're going to go for a couple weeks, it may be better to actually buy a season pass. The annual pass for Disney is expensive. However, if you start looking at it, it starts to break even at about 9 days. So, really, it might be a good idea for you to look at. Now, the next thing that you can think about is where to stay. Now, you may not be able to figure out if each individual hotel that you want to look at has openings. However, you can at least look at, do I want to stay on property? Do I want to stay off property? Do I want to stay in a hotel? Do I want to do an Airbnb and stay at a villa? There are a lot of decisions that you can make ahead of time so that when you know when you can go, you can finally look individually at each place that you want to go and then make the decision from there based on price or availability. Now, here's one that you can start and maybe save some money if you start early. What to pack. Now, there's going to be things like battery chargers for your cell phones, or ponchos, or a rain jacket. Those types of things you're probably going to need almost every Disney trip that you go on. Well, here's the time to make those lists and start maybe purchasing them slowly and on sale so you can get the best price. And that way, when you do finally get to go to Disney, everything is in check and you can just throw it in the bag and go. Now, I think this one is probably one of the most important for planning your Disney World vacation. What attractions do you want to do? Now, for me, I've got a must-do and I've got a want. And I think personally that works the best, because that way, if I do these certain attractions, I feel like I have had a Disney vacation. Like for me, that's Haunted Mansion. I love the Haunted Mansion and the Foolish Mortals. I love it. But as my little one grows up, he may get a little scared with it. So maybe I can't go on that. And that's the thing, is that you need to talk to your family. You need to figure out what rides are an absolute have to do at Disney. And categorize them that way. Go down the list of the rides and figure out what rides you have to do and what rides would be nice to do. The next thing that you can do is near and dear to my heart. Okay, my stomach, but still, it's near and dear to me. Food. Where to eat. Disney World has over 75 locations to eat at. Now, these range from something that you just pop in quick and grab something over a counter service, or it's a sit down like Be Our Guest that takes a couple hours to actually have the meal. Now, for me, I like to mix it up, but really, you need to decide what you and your family really want to do and what you want to eat. Because let me tell you, there are some fantastic things out there. Now, to get into the food, I really suggest doing some research on it. Disney Food Guide on YouTube has some fantastic videos about where to eat and how much they are. But really, figure out now where you want to eat and what types of restaurant environments that you want, and that'll save you some time as soon as the date comes that you can go to Disney. Last but not least, you really need to figure out if you want to do something other than just Disney. Now, there is Disney Springs, which is kind of a large mall ran by Disney. They've got a ton of different restaurants there and shopping and whatnot. There's the outlet malls that have the Disney character outlets that you can buy some cheaper merchandise and some souvenirs that way. But you're very close to places like Kennedy Space Center. It's about an hour away if you have a car. You're close to the Gulf of Mexico. It's about a 90-minute drive. There is a ton of things to do in Central Florida, and really a lot of fun to have with your family besides just Disney. So those are my tips of things that you can do while Disney is closed and still plan your trip. Now, did I miss any? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. Again, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the YouTube algorithm. And what really helps me out and supports me is if you'd subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you real soon.